Live, man. Welcome back to another episode of Wealth is Gangster. It's, I guess, our first official. Last week we had an introduction. This week is our first financial talk with my family member, Trymaine Kelly. How you doing today, fam?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, just another day trying to get this, this vision and this grind together. It's an everyday progression towards it, man. Like people don't understand. It don't happen like that. You just wake up every day and one of my mentors says it's like building a brick home, and every day you get one or two bricks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And some people might say you're crazy, but they look up in 5, 10 years out that whole time you was laying that brick or two a day. While everybody was telling you crazy, now you got you a big, big mansion or something. So it just, then some days are definitely better than other days, but it's just the constant grind of it.
that's right.
So what you been up to, man? You said you was out with the family today.
Yeah, we just my oldest son, he turned 12 what's that? Saturday. So we just got to go out today and celebrated his birthday. We went to a little circus casino, but they got a like an indoor play place thing. So we took them there, and he likes to ride roller coasters and all that. So we took him there and let him have fun, him and the kids. So just got back from that, but celebrating his birthday, made sure they had a good time. And yeah,
I know you like those moments because you been gone a lot, especially with the military and everything. So these type of moments sometimes you miss.
yep, yep, that's for sure. That's for sure. I miss
What's
probably
up,
four
man?
birthdays now, two of each, I think. Maybe six birthdays. I think I missed two of each. So yeah, I think a total of six.
Yeah. So these ones. So tonight, like I say, tonight, we're gonna get into the importance of investing and I was talking about this the other day. The different reasons why I like investing, and I'm kind of like a little more psychotic with it, so I throw money into it. And sometimes I do the deep dive research like we should always be doing, but I have learned to just like some things, not everything. Some things I just go into it. And I was telling a story yesterday about how my one of the chances, I ain't gonna say my first, but one big chance I became, I passed over being a millionaire is when 2010 or 11, I was in Atlanta, and my partner was telling me, man, hey, put $100, put your $1,000 into this stuff called Bitcoin. I'm like, man, I'm like looking at him like, man, you crazy. And I think it was probably like I don't even know if it was $1 yet, bro. Like it was
Man,
just like, but I never heard of it. I never understood it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And that right there still goes over and over again in my mind.
I bet.
I laughed them off and like, and but it opened my eyes to like, we're so closed-minded, especially where we're from about investing and how
Mhm.
everything we think it's all a scam, or we think, what if the market crash? And I had this debate last year about what's better, real estate or stocks. And if you're a real estate guy, of course you're gonna say real estate. I
Yep.
say better. I say both. Both you need part of your portfolio, but on a personal level, especially me, the way I'm outspoken, the way I might rub some people the wrong way. I feel like this market is better for me personally because if you learn this skill, it's nobody that can boycott you. All you need is Wi-Fi and a computer or a Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you know what I was thinking earlier? I was thinking about the same subject, and I was thinking I ended up calling it the language of money, right?
Mhm.
So how I look at it is money has different languages. Just like the real estate, the stock market is different languages, right? You're not gonna understand all of them, but you just got to pick that one language, that one that you resonate with, that you understand, and that's all you got to do to make it. You don't have to know every little one. All you got to know is one of them, and there you go. You're off and running.
Yeah, because I had a guy, he was like, "Oh no, real estate, because you can't control this," and I'm like, "You can't really control the housing market either." Like, I can, So of course, it's pros and cons of both. I feel like you need, I feel like you need both once you really get in position to have both, of course.
Mhm.
But when you look at the Warren Buffetts and people like that, Warren Buffett don't care about too much real estate. Of course, he has it, but he got a whole different play. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I feel
Yep.
like and they well, what about the crash? The crash is when you really make the most money if you prepared. And you see, he got about how many billions of dollars he got of cash that he sold a lot of stocks. He waiting on a crash. Crash is when the wealthy people get richer. So once you program your mind and learn these tools and learn that a crash is actually a good thing and it's how you position yourself within it, dollars cost averaging, the dividends that you can get paid plus it's just so many different things. And then you get into the trading part where when you're going down, you can ride a put down and make more money than you can when the stock market going up. So when you start bringing in all this knowledge, you start realizing it's not a gamble. It is really a skill set that you can build and obtain on it, man. So the subject is important of investing, and I know you talked a little bit about it, but why do you think investing is so important and why we need to put it to the forefront of how we teach, especially the youth coming up? Because if I don't know what I know then back then, oh man, I'd be a whole different person.
Yeah, 100%. So for me, it's about the future, man. Like, we got the same family. I've seen our grandparents and my parents and stuff, living on straight Social Security when they get older and not having enough money to travel or go nowhere, or, asking for help from their kids for bills and stuff like that. And I was like, that's not going to be me. I'm not going to let it happen. So when I started, it was for my future. Like, I wanted to be secure in my future. And my mindset is, while I'm younger, I'm going to use my muscle, right? So I'm going to work. If I have to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, whatever, I can work that now when I'm young. But when I'm old, I'm trying to chill. I'm trying to have that money coming in, some type of residual income that I ain't got to work for, that I can have coming in, and I don't have to worry about if I'm going to have enough money to pay the rent. I'm not going to have to worry if I'm going to Section 8 housing or low income housing because I can't afford, mortgage and lights and all that, healthcare and all that type of stuff. I'm not going to have to worry about if I need to borrow a loan or live with my kids because, I'm down and out and just relying on Social Security, because Social Security might not even be there when I get there, So that was my whole thing. I'm like, all right, nobody's going to take care of me, and I don't want anybody to take care of me. I don't want to be a burden. So my starting is like, I want to be able to be secure in anything that I want to do in the future when I don't have the ability to make as much money as I do when I'm young. So when I'm young, it's like, all right, how can I make more money? Get another job, right? That's the first thing people think about. All right, now I'm putting more time to get more money, but I only got a certain amount of time in a day, so I can only make a certain amount of money based off the hours in a day if I'm working, right? So I'm like, okay, now I got to figure something else out. And one of Warren Buffett's favorite, my quote by Warren Buffett is, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you're always going to be broke. You're always going to have to work, right? Mm-hmm. So that resonated with me for a long time. And I was like, man, okay, how can I find out how to make money while I sleep? Boom, number one, stock market. Like, that's been popped up with me for a long time because that's how Warren Buffett did it, right? So it's like, all right, stock market. All right, now what do I need to learn in this? Can I put money up, and how does it build? How does it help me achieve my goal? So that's what I started doing, and that's what I do for my kids. My kids, like I said, my oldest is 12, and they all have investment accounts. We look at it together. We go over stuff, invest in stuff that they want to invest in other stuff that I know is just going to grow and be good for them. And I want them to know at a young age the importance of it as well. That way they can look at it and be like, okay, now I can do this. And, my dad did this for me. I'm going to do this for the next generation and pass that knowledge on, because money is not money is a big part of generational wealth, but knowledge is the generational wealth. Like, knowledge is what you pass down, because if I pass down not $1, not 1 cent to my kids, but I pass down this knowledge on how to get this money and how to do it and how to set yourself up, then that's all they need, and they can go do it for themselves and they kids and they kids and they kids and they kids. And it's a knowledge game that's passed on that really helps build generational wealth, in my opinion.
It's definitely the knowledge, because, like I said, half the battle was knowing. Like, if I'd have just knew certain things, I'd have just did. Like, I throw $100 away on all kind of stuff. If I'd have just had more knowledge of it, I'd have threw $100 in Bitcoin back then. Just so sometimes it's the simple steps of the knowledge and what we didn't know. So what you're doing right there, you already broke a generational curse, because when nobody talking to us about investing when we was coming up, like, so what you're teaching your kids right there is already a whole different game plan from what we came up under. So that's so that's right there gonna put them ahead of most kids. And that's why I started the program like CEO Youth League and all that, because I feel like every kid, the way we know about sports, every kid should know about investing, should know about a portfolio, should know about the stock market, the crashes, the good, the bad, how the rich get more wealthy when it's bad. So we get scared when the stores are closing, when it's a drought on this, when the stock market crashing, we get scared at foreclosures. We get scared, and the people that got the money, like they just sit back with the Birdman hand rub, like, yeah, we finna clean up. You know what I'm saying?
I tell so many people, like, during COVID, I made so much money. Like, I'm not bragging. I'm not saying like I'm a genius with this, but I made so much money during COVID because so many companies dropped, right? Like huge companies, Marriott, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Coca-Cola, Apple, like all these companies, Facebook, all these companies dropped so low that I just scooped in and got them at real discounted prices. So say Royal Caribbean went down to, I think it was $23 a share. They had $170 something a share. You know, they had went up and then they dropped back down, and now they're fluctuating a little bit, but they're still over $100 a share. Yeah. So I didn't triple my money on that alone, just holding it. You know, it's not a hard thing. You find companies that are stable. You know, yes, you got to learn the knowledge of, you know, reading the reports and all that, their financial reports and all that type of stuff, making sure they're steady, not losing money and all that. But once you do that and you find a company that's down and out on whatever it may be, and you can get that company for a steal, you hold on to it. I mean, Coca-Cola was another one. Coca-Cola is like a prime example of a dividend stock that has multiplied and has made people millionaires over the long haul. It was something like if you bought one share of Coca-Cola when it first debuted and you didn't sell it at all, it would be worth over like $4 million right now, which is crazy to me. One stock, that's crazy to me. So like with the splits and the dividends and all that stuff invested, like that's how much it would have grown. So I own Coke. I mean, I like Coke products. I drink Coke. I drink other Coke products. So like, and then obviously it comes back to that again. Not when you don't know stuff, you buy what you know, right? So whatever you use, that's the easiest thing to buy because you know somebody's buying it. You know somebody's paying for it, right? They got to be making some money. So
that's definitely that's the way I teach, especially the people that are really kind of scared of the market. I'm like, well, what should I do? Where you spend the most money at? That's the easy. Before you get all this knowledge and you become this grand wizard of it, some things are just simple and common sense. You know, Apple gonna be around. You know, Walmart is gonna be around. You know, Coca-Cola is gonna be around. You don't have to be a genius to understand. Now, when you get in, you might want to wait to the dip a little bit. That type of stuff, you get more into the business and the aspects of it. But even when you get in, I have a guy I'll be watching. I learn all he do because I have different mentors when it comes to the stock market. I got some that just talk about option trading. I got some that just talk about strictly dividends. Like all he teaches dividends. He don't care about the options. He don't care about trading. All he teaches buy these, and every month, you know, he teach how to get dividends. Then I have ones that teach you about, you know, the when it comes to the taxes and all that, you know. So I learned it on different levels because I want to know it on every level. I don't want to just be a buy and hold for a long term and don't realize that, man, if I'd have got into options and learned how to do you know, I could have 10x my money faster, or you know, when I'm doing a long term hold, well, I should be, if I'm a long term holder, I need to be worried about dividends because I could a compound interest over the next 10, 20 years. If I'm into Apple, Verizon, or some of these other ones that pay dividends, that's an extra 500,000, 2,000, whatever, you know, depending on how much you buy into it. So when you start learning the game on different levels, it's like there's no lose in it. You know, it could be it's a loss. Of course, you can take a loss in it, but I'm talking about if your mental understand the game you're playing, it's no lose in it, because even when the market go down, you don't lose that. You lose the value of that stock. You just sit on it and wait for it to go back up. You don't actually lose money until you sell a stock.
That's right. But people panic. People panic all the time. You know, when the stock market drops, everybody like, oh, I got to get out. Like, why would you get out losing money? That doesn't even make any sense. I mean, unless they announce that they're going bankrupt, then you get out. But if they didn't announce that, you're good. Just stay in there. It'll bounce back more than likely. If it's a good company, you did your research, everything's good, it's gonna bounce back. So it's definitely knowing and having that mental fortitude to be able to withstand those drops. You know, if you're the type of person that lose $50 and you get upset, the stock market's probably not for you. Like honestly, because
Yeah.
or don't look at it every day. That's another thing. Don't look at it. If you're that type of person, be able to put something up and not look at it for a long time, and then see how it build up, and then look at it one day, and you'll never know if it went up or down.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
why I feel like the mindset is the most important. I've learned because I'm good with it because I'm patient. So I learned that I have to be patient with it because I would think something's crashing. I'm like, oh, I need to get out of it. And all it was doing is recorrect, and then it shot up. I missed it. So it's something because you're not patient, and you're when you're a gambler trying to do the stock market, you're going to get in trouble. You have to really understand the science of it, understand the ups and downs, the buy zones, the sell zones. You have to get all that. Once you learn all that, it becomes easier and better on you.
Yeah.
You good? You good?
Yeah. I hear you. No, you're good.
So, okay. So yeah, no. So that's why I say the mindset, and that's why I like to teach. You start with the money you're already throwing away. I feel like if you're already throwing away $50, $60 a week on fast food, just use some of that money first. Don't use your bill money because then you're gonna be nervous and all that, So I feel like always start with the money that you already throw away, so now you don't have an excuse. The money you was gonna go shopping with, just say, you know what, I'm not shopping this week. I'm putting it in the stock market. So if you lose it, hey, I was gonna go shopping anyway. And I feel like I don't feel like you're gonna lose, but I feel like building that mindset that you can stop caring if you lose, it puts you in a stronger position mentally to really handle what's going on. And that's the part that I really want to teach our people. We really have to understand the science of not being scared for the market to go down. Like if you got a favorite pair of Jordans that's $300. I don't know. I don't even buy Jordans, but whatever they are, $200-$300, and you can find the same original pair of Jordan for $100. You're gonna try to buy 2 or 3 of them. And that's the same thing as the stock market. If it's 300 and you see it crash to 150, that's not a reason to get scared. That's a reason to be like, oh man, I'm blessed that now I can get back in before it go back. Because 9 times out of 10, when it go down, it's gonna go back and touch its high sooner or later. You know what I'm saying? There's not too many stocks that don't go down and don't come back and at least touch and pass through that high. So you have to understand that, and that's stuff that I had to learn. And I had to get it. And I feel like the real reason the importance of investing to me is we got so comfortable with 401ks for my jobs. And all our 401ks do for jobs is do what we should be doing. They go buy real estate, they go buy stocks, and they go buy life insurance. That's all the big companies that hold our 401ks for the 10, 20, 30, 40, whatever, how many other years, man, they quadruple that money and then sometimes still rob people by the time it's time to cash them out or give them a couple 100,000 or 100,000 and be like, oh, this is what you accumulated over the last 20 years when they took your money and made millions on it, bought condos, bought life insurance plans. And that's why I feel like if we put ourselves in that position, of course, if you got one and they match you, that's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But you can still have your own separate one. And I feel like, because I get that question all the time, well, you don't have, if you don't work for nobody, how are you gonna retire? My retirement is properties that I bought. My retirement is my stock plans, my dividend portfolio that's way different than my trade portfolio, that's way different than my buy and hold portfolio. You know what I'm saying? Like those to me are gonna surpass the interest rates, gonna surpass the dollar inflation, and gonna put me in a position where I'm not losing money yearly on my dollar average. I'm actually gaining because I might made 10% in the market in this one. My trade might have went up 8 to 10%. So you're ahead of inflation. You're ahead of the dollar losing a dollar, and that's the most important part that I think we really need to understand.
Yeah, definitely, and it's definitely important. We gotta throw this out there. Do not use your bill money. This is not a quick thing. This is not a quick thing where you're gonna have more money the next day. That's not how this works. Yes, it can happen, but that's not what you should be trying to do this for, because it's gonna take you a couple days to get it in there and then a couple days to get it out. So what you're putting your money in there for, that situation might have changed by the time you get your money in there to do it anyway. So don't put bill money, don't put money that you need to use for bills and to live and for gas and all that into the stock market, hoping that you'll get it back next week. It's not a savings account. That's not how this works. So just make sure you're not doing any of that nonsense.
Yeah, no, and that's why I say I always start with the money you throw away. That's the simplest way for me to teach it right now. The money you're already wasting, the fast food money, the beer money, the club money, That's why I always say start with that. And then once I was telling the guy yesterday because he was talking about Bitcoin. He was like, man, Bitcoin is too high now. I can't get in it. I said, man, I follow people that forecast it going from to 2 to 300,000 in the next 5 years or so. Could it go down? Of course. But when I see it go down, I was just buying more. And it ain't got to be nothing crazy. If you ain't got no $5,000-$10,000 to be buying big chunks of it, or 60,000 worth, or 58,000 or somewhere where it's at now, wake up every day and put your 5 or 10 in there. And you just start building up a habit of that, and you get more comfortable with it. Then you might start saying, you know what, I'm gonna throw 100 in there now. Start with what makes you comfortable. And I love the way it's set up now, because you can start with every day just throwing $5 on it. You know what I'm saying? You do a little 10. You be like, you know what? I'm gonna eat a sandwich today. I'm not going to a fast food place. I'm gonna put this $10 into the market. You can start with little baby steps, and it might not look like nothing, but I promise you keep doing that, you're gonna be way ahead of the person that's laughing at you, thinking that $5 or $10 ain't doing nothing.
Yep, for sure. For sure. Because that was me. That's how I started. Like I said, especially when I got in the military and I started investing, I was putting money away. It was like $100 a month, which wasn't nothing, but to me it was a lot because I needed that money. I was broke. But then I looked at it and I'm like, okay, this is actually doing something. I mean, I didn't look at it for a long time, but when I did, I was like, wow, like I got this money that I didn't even know about, that I just been having taken out, that I haven't even seen. So I didn't get in the habit of looking at it, because I know myself. If I look at it and I see $1,000, I'm finna go buy something. Like that's just how it was, So, but now that I got the mindset right and I'm into it, I know what I'm doing it for, who I'm doing it for. It's so much easier. It's so easy to stay strong instead of going by, the new entertainment center or the new surround sound or the new Xbox or whatever. I can just wait a couple years, that Xbox go from 500 to about 350, and then I get it there. But it's a whole different game. It's a whole different game.
And the crazy part about it, man, we have our hands. Even the poorest person that have the money to start to change their life. I'm talking about just a small discipline of the money you're throwing away. 5 years of that discipline, that'll change your life. That'll put you in a position that you never thought you could be in. And I always say that I don't care how broke a person say that is, I can find $10,000 or more that we all throw away every year just to nonsense. We all know it. Some people throw away a lot more, but on an average, the average person throw away $10,000, and you might not look at it. I throw away. Yeah, you didn't eat that extra burger. Yeah, you didn't eat that soda. Yeah. I'm talking about you just keep adding all that little stuff up through the year. The average person, we throw away $10,000. What if we had that in a brokerage account? Even if, and I forgot, there's a book talking about it. It was about, I can't remember the name, but it was about monkeys that invested, and how they just had the monkeys throwing stuff, and whatever it landed on, they would invest into it. Just showing you that you don't have to be the smartest person. Just being in the game, just buying stocks. Even if a stock going up and down, a person that's buying stocks consistently gonna win more than a person that never bought stocks. That's just the way it is. Like you could be totally wrong on half of them. You're gonna be in a better position than that person that never invested ever, because it's just the law averages of how the stock market has always went. So it's just part about being in the game. You have to be in the game. You have to put something towards it. And I'm telling you, man, and it'll put you in a different position. And everybody won't get filthy rich, off of it. But I'm talking about where you can be like, oh man, where does $20,000-$30,000 come from that I've been throwing in this thing for the last 5-10 years? That's an extra 20. And that don't sound like a lot, but where I'm from, ain't nobody walking around with no $20,000-$30,000 just sitting in a brokerage account because they was been disciplined and invested.
Yeah, for sure. That on top of, if you play it right. So when we get deeper into it, talking about different stuff with the dividends, right? Like dividends, you can set that up where your dividends come in, every 3 months or every month, if you get it right, and that can just be another income to supplement whatever you already have going on. It don't have to be nothing big. If let's say you've been putting money up for 20 years, right? And now I'm saying, okay, you put this money up. You're not losing none of this money, but also we're going to give you $500 a month just for putting this money up with us. How many people wouldn't do that? How many people wouldn't take that? You're not losing your money, plus they're giving you $500 a month just for having that money in there. Like, everybody be like, that's a no-brainer. I would do that all day. But when you talk about it, they don't have the discipline to build that up. And that's what we're talking about. Like, why are you doing it? The importance of it. The importance of it is to make sure you not out on the street, to make sure that you have enough money to support the lifestyle that you want, not the one that you have, the one that you want, right?
Yeah,
Because there's lifestyles that people have that they have to have. People that are on Social Security only, they have to live in a either an apartment or a house that's already paid off, or
yeah,
they can't afford to travel as much as they might want to. They can't afford to go to grandkids, this and that. And that's a have to. That's not a want to. That's a have to. Because I can guarantee you, all the grandparents I know, they're trying to go to their grandkids' stuff.
yeah. And you only get a certain like a lifespan. You get about 4 decades to really mash for the money, to really get it. Your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. After that, it started declining. Before the 20s, you're kind of learning, but between your 20s and your 50s, those are your prime years to really get it. After that, and of course, there's some 60, 70-year-olds that are really sharp, but the physical ability, you got to have everything in stone by then. In your 60s and 70s, you ought to be on cruise control of what you did in your 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Yep.
Because and that's where we lose that, because we're taught to just work hard all our life, and then when we hit that 50, 60, and the body start breaking down, the money go down with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And that's why I said. That's why I said I do it while I'm young.
Yeah.
I can work while I'm young, but I can't when I'm older. So I got to find a way to make that money, to have something coming in, to somehow, some way, for me to sustain the lifestyle that I want and that I want for my kids and my grandkids in the future. So
Yeah.
that's me. That's what I'm about. That's my why.
Yeah.
That's when people ask me like, why you invest. One, I don't want to be a burden. Two, I want to be able to set my kids up better than I was. Three, I want to be able to set my grandkids better than I set my kids up.
Mhm.
So like I want to be the one to start it. I want to be the one to start breaking this generational curse. Yes, I broke it in some things, but I want to break it in all things.
Yeah.
Everything that I can, everything that I'm aware of, I'm trying to do my best that my kids don't have trauma, my grandkids don't have that trauma, and they'll never know. You know, by the time my kids are old enough, they're not gonna know what it's like to see somebody living on just Social Security.
Yeah.
They're not gonna know what it's like to have somebody and a parent who doesn't have multiple forms of income, who's not invested in the stock market, who doesn't have this, have that, have this. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm working on, and they're gonna be the same way because they're gonna follow in my footsteps, right?
Mhm.
So that's what I'm trying to do. That's my why.
And that's the whole thing about why we starting this conversation, because what we're saying basically is, and what I say all the time, is we need to normalize it. And it's sad that when we have these conversations, or when you talk to a kid about stocks, it's their first time ever hearing about it. It's their first time even understanding it. Like, what is it? And we need to make it where this just normal conversation. And that's my whole why. Of course, personally, I want to learn it because I want to put myself in position. And like I say, the way my mind works and the way I move, I need to be in a position where I got myself. And I always tell people the biggest fear is not getting old. To me, my biggest fear is getting old and broke. Because the older you get and the broker you are, you become irrelevant to everyone, And it's just the way it is. It's just, life is just cruel like that, man. You become an old person and you don't have nothing. Like the Walmart. Uh, you still see the granddaddy on the wall, right? Because what he left them. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? Like Disneyland, they got a big picture of him because what he left. Us, we love our grannies, our great grandmas, we love them. But over time, because we're stuck in a life of just grind, so we love them. We might think about them time to time, but they never laid that foundation to put us in where we wake up every day and look at that picture and honor what they paved the way for us. It sounds cruel, but that's just the reality of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know
Yep.
some good-hearted people that raise kids and help kids, but they last 10, 20 years, did nobody go check on them because they were just old and poor and dying. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? And
Yep.
that's what I'll say about leaving a legacy, because you want to put yourself in a strong position, but you want to be able to pass on knowledge, but wealth. Like, you want to make sure, and this is when I have my conversation with preachers, I'm like, But doesn't it say we supposed to leave the next generation wealthy and in a better situation and all that? We got we so worried about us. Well, I work hard, I got a roof over my head, and I die. That ain't the way it was supposed to be set up. And you know me, I'm not even deep into the religious part, but if we want to be technical on it, we supposed to leave the next generation in way better shape than we had. And for some reason, we just get selfish, and all we care about is us. I had people actually tell me, I wasn't worried about building wealth because my kids wouldn't do nothing but blow it anyway. That's your fault. Why you didn't put them in position mentally to be able to handle it? You would never hear that from any other race of people. You know what I'm saying? They understand if my kid fumbling, he just gonna fumble it, but I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do as a parent, putting them in position.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Like you can't live the life for them, but you can definitely help them, set them up by giving them the knowledge, passing down the knowledge, passing down wealth if you have it, and all of that. So we can only do what we can do. We can't, live the life for them. But if you teach them the right way, they're not going to lead astray from that. So they're not going to squander it if you've been teaching them, hey, this is what you do. This is what you're doing it for. This is how it works, A, B, C, D. If you're doing that, then they're not going to squander it. And if they do, they're going to know how to get it back to pass it on to the next generation.
And to me, it's just about setting the standard. Of course, it's gonna be a some that mess it off or whatever. But even in that, you can set it up where, man, do you know there's a lot of people that's running America right now in their grave because of the trust and the Rockefeller families, the family banks and all this stuff. They've been dead for years and they still running a lot of things because they put it in place way before they died. It's things that happen on a year basis that people died 20, 30 years ago. They still functioning off what they put in on paper.
Yep, 100%. And so those trusts and everything are how you govern a family to move in the way that you want them to move when you're gone. So when people say they're my kid's gonna squander or whatever, they don't know about the trust. They don't know about setting up all this other stuff that you can do to have them do what you want them to do in order to have access to those funds. And if not, then they just don't get access. So it wouldn't be squandering it. It's either you do it like how I have it set up, or you don't do it and you don't get nothing. So it's not squandering it. It'll just go to somebody else, So it's like, okay, if me and my brothers, and there's a trust for us, and it says we need to do this to get this money, and I do it and my brothers don't, they can't be mad at me. They can't be like, the parents left you all this money. Like, no, they left it to all of us, but you didn't do what you were supposed to do. You didn't do your requirements. So that's just how it is. Like, but once again, that's not having the knowledge of different aspects of the business, of different aspects of the language of money. And I'm gonna keep calling it that because I like it. But not knowing those different aspects of it to be able to control it and set things up how you want to make sure that you're, like one kid doesn't use all the money that you have set aside for your 3 or 4 kids or whatever the case may be. So they need, when you're getting to those levels, you got to make sure that you have it set up properly as well. So it's not just getting to the level, it's getting and maintaining that level, right? So once you get to the level you want to be at, you got to maintain it. And then there's all these other things that you can put in place to help your children and grandchildren, niece, nephew, whoever else, maintain the level that you want, as well as do the things that you require for them to have access to those funds. And another one, like we were talking about the Rockefellers, which is kind of interesting. But so one of the requirements for their stuff was that each person who had access to the money had to have a life insurance policy and in the trust, in the name of the trust, and they couldn't let it lapse. And they were entitled to like 1% or 2% or whatever it was of the money, family money, right? So when that person died, more money would go back into that trust. Like there's crazy things that's helped keep families wealthy for generations and grow their wealth, because those life insurance policies into those type trusts, they are invested into the stock market. They're invested into other life insurance policies. They're invested in their businesses, making buying buildings, like so much other stuff. So that family just keeps getting richer and richer throughout time, because that one person set it up, had the foresight to set it up like, okay, I don't want one person to be able to ruin this for my whole legacy. So this is how we're going to do it and set it up.
And I'm gonna definitely have that as just a main topic within itself. But what you said is definitely key. And that's I think another reason besides the lack of knowledge and the mindset, what we really lose at when it comes to this wealth game is we don't understand the family aspect. You know what I'm saying? Like we understand the one person out the family that gets rich, the one person that makes it to the NFL, the one person out the family that makes it to the NBA. When you talk about the McDonald's, Rolls Royce, all these are last names of families. You know what I'm saying? It's not no one person. It's a whole generation of families. It's the niece, it's the grandnieces that's running the company now. You know what I'm saying? It's the great granddaughters that's running the companies now. We
Yep.
have to get that family aspect together to really play that wealth game. You know, like we can do the businesses, we can get smarter in the stock market, we can do all these things individually, but to really play the game on the level that the people we're talking about now, we have to understand it's a family aspect that goes to this. I don't care how smart you is, how great you are, you doing it by yourself only gonna get so far. If you did it with a group of family members and we had the family banks and the family life insurance plans, and everybody had the mindset of what this going for and what this going to, that's the game changer. You know, like for real wealth, we can individually put ourselves in nice positions and stuff, but the real wealth of the Rockefellers and the Carnegies and all them, that's a whole nother level that the family has to come together mindset wise. And it don't have to be your blood family. Family means the same people with the lack of the same mindset that you obtain. You know, my mom she get mad all the time. I said, no, I got a lot of relatives. I got my own families, but I put together. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody that I got same blood with ain't my family. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a cold reality. But I think that's another part of outside of the lack of knowledge. It's the family aspect that keeps us behind, because man, just think about it. If you had 10, 12, 20 family members that thought on that same level and went and put together a family bank, and everybody in that family bank had a life insurance plan, and just 10 to 20 people, you don't even need big, we got a huge family. You don't even need everybody. If you had 10 or 20 people that came together and start doing something like that, it wouldn't take one generation. That'll be like the Rockefellers, one generation of that.
Yep, for sure. And so just to circle back, I pulled up the verse. It's Proverbs 13:22. It says, "A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children."
Yeah.
So I'm there's a whole bunch of things with the Bible that a lot of people talk about as far as wealth, right? Like some people says that it's a sin to be wealthy. Some people say that it's, having too much. The one that they try to point out is money is the root of all evil, right? And that's not what it says. That's not what the verse says. It says the love of money. And that means like people doing stuff that's sinning to try to get money. So it's not money is the root of all evil. It's the love of money is the root of all evil. So there's we can dive deeper into that on another time.
Definitely.
A whole bunch of stuff like that people try to use to say that, that people like, oh, you're trying to get wealthy, that's a sin. Like that's not the case. So there's, once again, I digress on that subject for now.
And I think some of that is just the lack of confidence. When you feel like you can't do it, you just want to talk the next person down on it. Because we'll never, I'm working on a documentary right now called Sports Lied to Us, right? Talking about our love for sports and how I feel like we slaughtering our kids because only half of 1% will ever see a professional check, but 100% of our kids think they all gonna make it in professional sports. You know what I'm saying? So you'll never hear but when I say that, only half of 1% of y'all will make it, all the adults get mad at me, but that's the truth. But when you gonna say, well, wealth means evil, well, how does that mean evil? I know some of the most evil people I know are broke. Like I'm talking about, like they talk about wealth, money is the root of all evil. The lack of money is the root to all evil. To me, from the world I come from, like the people do the strangest stuff for the lack of money. So I mean, and I can argue that back and forth all day. So I think sometimes we take quotes and we take different things and we use it for the way we want to see it instead of really, like you said, really what it was meant to be. Because you can't say you're supposed to leave wealth and all this to your kids, and at the same time, like you said, you said the love of money, but you're supposed to be leaving generate. So you really sinning when you don't pass on some kind of wealth or you don't pass on something to your kid. So all these, a lot of people that go to church their whole lives really die sinning because they leave the next generation without nothing, struggling. And that's the part that I want us to break and get away from and stop equating success. And I want to be a billionaire, not because it's me personally, because of the things I can do if I became that billionaire.
Yeah.
The impact I can have on people, the tools that'll be at my disposal. You know, that's why I got shirts now that's coming out and say cash poor, asset rich. I don't care about the cash. I use the cash for the assets, and assets and resources are a lot of different things, you know. But I know what I can do if I had $1 million, if I had $10 million, if I had $100 million. That's more good that I can do. I can't do nothing. The reason I shut down stuff now and regroup stuff now, why? It's the lack of resources. And I was doing a great deed, though. You know what I'm saying? So you can talk all that money is the root of evil and all that. No, the lack of money. Now, what do you think the people I can't service? Where you think they're getting better in life now? You think they're going more righteousness now? No.
Yeah.
When programs fall off, when programs don't have the money, when the people can't fund the stuff, those people that they were serving go off the deep end 9 times out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Now, I wouldn't say that people are sinning by not leaving an inheritance. I wouldn't go that far.
But no, I'm saying you can look at I get what you're saying. I'm saying you can look at it like that if you want to be technical about what you're saying. I'm just saying my point is you can look at words and phrases and you can use it the way you want to use it. That's right. No, but technically, that's not what I'm saying. I got you.
I was like, whoa. Yeah. But yeah, definitely people twist stuff so much to make it mean what they want it to mean for their purpose or whatever the case may be. So it's a delicate subject for sure. But what's not delicate is that we all gonna need money. You know, when we get older, we need money to live. We need money to do the things we want, cars, you know, public transportation. You know, it doesn't matter. It takes funds and resources to do that. So I think everybody needs to learn how to do it. And that's why it's so important, right? It's part of our daily lives. So if we said we're not going to give you oxygen, you got to learn how to make oxygen. Guess what? People are going to learn how to make oxygen because it's part of our daily lives. We need it every day. Money's the same way. It's part of our daily lives. We need it every day. So why would you take the time to learn something to make money if it's something you use every day?
And that's what we talking about. So we're gonna be, like I said, we're gonna keep it going. I'm keep all the shows around 45 to an hour. And I definitely next time I'm gonna bring up some slides, breaking down a few more things, and we dive in. But I just like I said, I got the little theme music, man. I'm trying to get it set up where we're gonna have a nice little old show where the music come on, you know, so we can start talking about different little things. And I want to bring up different like I say, quotes and different videos and stuff so we can really dissect different things. I want to go over a lot of teachings of Warren Buffett's and you know, just a lot of the great stock brokers in Wall Street. And you know, sometimes we're gonna get into the history of how Wall Street started too. So we're gonna get real deep into the financial aspect, and different than just talking about the money all the time, like what's behind all the money, like the railroad system, how they made so much money out that, you know, like the banks, you know, us as a people being the first people that they use for collateral, you know. So we're gonna, stock market. We were the first stock, you know what I'm saying? So just on a deep end of the real technical of the money. But the whole thing of tonight is it's important to just jump in. I don't care if it's $5, $10. I don't care, you know. And I had a thing I did like a year ago, and I'm actually doing it now because I'm going the rest of the year with nothing but water, right? But like I was telling the guy, because I don't drink tea, I drink it like all I drink is water, and then I just buy those things of Minute Maid juices, right? But even when I buy those juices, I spend like $100 and some dollars a month just buying, you know, some juice every couple of days, every couple of days. So what I learned was when I went on my water diet, and that's an extra $100 right there for the market. You know, like little stuff like that. And it sounds crazy and it sounds funny and all that. But I'm talking about, that's what I'm telling people. If you can find the little stuff that you are already throwing away, and in the process, I got a free extra $100 for the market. I'm not drinking all these juices that I don't really need anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I'm making myself a little healthier. And I mean, so find ways like that. And like I said, if you go to fast food 5 times a week, go 3 times. That 2 times, put that little $10, $20, $30 into the market. Start with that money, and as you look at it, as you learn it, of course, I always be getting your knowledge on it. But I want you to start with little money and learn knowledge instead of, oh man, let me wait till I get my income tax. Let me study some more. Them people right there never start. Anytime somebody say something, my income tax hit, I'm gonna jump in. I know you ain't starting then. You know, because
if you're not gonna put little money,
Yeah, it's a mindset. Like if you're really gonna start, you wake up today with no money and like this is the path I'm on. That's when I know you're serious. You can have $0 to your name. You can wake up, start putting the knowledge in, and you can say, well, you know what? This $20 I just got, I'm gonna put 10 of it. That person right there, I'm gonna take more serious than a person that got thousands of dollars that don't want to pull a
Yep.
trigger. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Because
Yep.
it's a mindset. But as we end this show, man, like just give us some words of importance of investing and why you think somebody should at least try it out.
All right. Let me see here. Off the dome. Uh, investing is important, man, because it's a lifestyle, right? You need to set yourself up for the life you want to live, not the life you live now, right? Because you're not going to be able to work all your life. There's going to be some point, something's going to happen. You know, your body's going to break down. You might even, something simple as break a leg and can't work. Like, you have to have another form of income, a way to make money when you, without working, without putting your time, physically time in to a job. So this is just another way that you can diversify your income, and it doesn't take you any time. You know, besides learning it, you can throw money in the market and let it go. You don't have to sit and watch it. You don't have to move it all the time. It's just something that's working for you. Besides you doing the work, this is a thing like, um, you want to put money out to work for you. Every dollar you have is a worker. You know, you want to send them out to get more workers and keep doing more work. That's what investing does. Whether it's stock market, whether it's real estate, Bitcoin, like a whole bunch of different avenues, whole bunch of different languages of money out there. But find one that works for you and start learning it to help your money grow and help you have a good form of income and help you supplement the life that you want to live in the future.
Yeah, and that's the main thing in the future, and that's what we have to realize. I remember putting out a thing said we need to work on a 100-year plan, and then I thought about it. I'm like, when you're talking to people that's trying to figure out how to make it through this week, you really can't
Hmm.
understand a 100-year plan. The Chinese get it, like other groups understand a 100-year plan, and they don't care if they don't have the money or not. They're built from birth to think like this, and that's
Hmm.
why I would really like to start with the kids because if you start them young thinking like that, like I say, even if they mess up or they fall off the tracks or they go a different route in life, they still have the basic fundamentals of man, like just like we know football, we know all this other stuff because it was bred in us since birth. And I'm like, and in my documentary, I go over like, okay, we get that kid of football from birth. What if we start talking to them about stocks, bonds, real estate from birth? And it
Hmm.
sounds crazy, but what do you think how at 8 years old? What do you think that kid is going to be like compared to the kid that all they talked about is sports at 8?
Yep.
So it's little stuff like that we laugh at, that we think's funny, that we just kind of blow off. That really those little things that are really change, and that's why I say it's important to invest. The importance of investing to me is not just about the money; it's about the mindset. Investing in your mind to make yourself think different.
Yep.
We have to invest into our mind to even think different, to even get into investing. You know what I'm saying? Because if not,
Yep.
we'll still be scared. We'll still be worried about what if the stock market. I had to build this mind. I didn't have nobody, no family members, no uncles, no dads,
Right.
nobody say, man, the stock market, this and that, and you buy it at the lows and you do this. We never
Nope.
had that.
Nope.
We was crazy for even thinking about it. Like, well, you better put that money in something. You know
Oh,
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Actually, you're gonna lose it
Yeah,
all. That's what they said.
so for real, so that's the main thing we're gonna tackle. We're tackling every week. We're talking about financial, but it all will come back to the mindset. I don't care if it's real estate. I don't care if it's stock. I don't care whatever investing we're talking about. If your mindset is not there, it's gonna be 10 times harder for you to get there, man. So this is another. We're wrapping up this episode. Thanks, Keys, Bam, everybody that tapped in. Everybody's gonna tap in, like, subscribe, and look for us every Monday between the 8 and 9 o'clock area. Kim folk out there with the family in Vegas, so he 2 hours behind. So we'll adjust that. So just be looking for us on Mondays in between those hours, and we're gonna be coming, and we're gonna keep building. Like I said, we got a lot of different things with the music. We got the intros. We got a lot of different stuff coming. So we're not gonna fall off. We're gonna keep this train going, Kim folk, no matter what. If we
Right.
got to reschedule a day, we got to back up the time. We just gonna try to stay consistent with it because, like I say, these kind of conversations help me, and it helps me with my visualization of what I want to do for the community, man. So I appreciate you coming on. I'll be looking forward to it. And I'll see you next Monday.
All right. See you next week.
All right, family. Take it easy, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, see ya.
Peace.